recording.
Did you even like upload the latest sessions, or are they
No,
still in
they're
the
just
queue?
they're still. I haven't touched them. Well, part of it is because like I was starting to try to do a combination of YouTube and Spotify, but then all this music, despite me making it really quiet in the background, still got like copyright struck, and then they just started pulling episodes down on Spotify, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop for a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I didn't pick it up back up, but it's still there. It's because I keep recording because I'm going to. It's just a matter of when. Yeah.
And what you need to finally do with the audio so that you can actually,
Yeah. Well,
actually put it up.
For those of you who are familiar with Discord, do you know because I've got music that I could use, but I've got the audio files. Is there any way that I can play that? It's royalty free. I bought it.
You might have to create a second Discord account.
Just
already have a second Discord account.
Just
I do have a second.
Upload it to YouTube as unlisted, and then feed the links into the music bot.
Yeah.
You could do it that way, I guess.
Yeah. I might do that.
Except can you do that with a playlist though, where he doesn't have to constantly keep changing the music?
Yes.
He could create a playlist on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if the bot would be able to understand to go through the playlist or not.
Yeah.
Just make it unlisted, and then if you have the link, you can send the bot there.
Okay.
All right. I'll do that eventually. Okay. So great. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since we done set our foot here in Waterdeep, here on the shores of these great old lands.
Yeah, I can give the recap.
You can give the recap? You know what, good sir?
I was gonna say something really bad about Batok having this really weird dream about a monkey, a cat, and a halfling walking onto an island that fell out of the sky. And there was there were golden trees. It was a sight more beautiful than you would understand. There were trees made out of precious metals.
I'm flesh.
And there were some flesh trees too, but we don't talk about that. And then there was this guy named Harlow, and all my homies hate Harlow.
You know what we're gonna do here is I feel like we finished the last module. You all collectively have discovered the treasure trove of the former Open Lord of Waterdeep, Neverember, found the horde of golden dragons being guarded by a dragon, and it has been returned to the people. You successfully completed that there module, that there story. And so you were able to kind of step away. You were in the limelight for about a week or two of just being the popular folks. There were folks coming to your inn to see you, to hear your stories, to your bar, your tavern. Your place was popping for a few weeks. But as time in the city goes by, you became the old news. The dragons, the general citizen realized that they didn't see a lick of those dragons. It went into the ruling government part of the city and was spread out to fund various different projects and line the pockets of politicians. And at the end of the day, the average citizen really didn't get to appreciate your work. And so you became old news.
We need to open a childcare center in Waterdeep.
That's right.
I mean, there were those 3 orphans. As with the contact.
Yes. in this time, your Zentarum dwarven companion, Astrid, figured that the heat was off of her. The guild's rush for this treasure, after it had been found, was slowed. And so she deemed that her time here was complete. She didn't have to hide in your attic anymore. And so, Volker, you're the coin purse right now, she gave the second half of her ransom payment, not ransom payment, but second half of her promised payment, which was 20 platinum pieces to you, and departed.
Ollie.
And told Grim that he smelled, told Nock that he's weird, told Batok that he's weirder, told Volker you're an anxious mess, and told Kia you need to drink more. And then left you guys to go about her business. What else happened? Well, that's what this session's going to be. Is we're gonna the here and now, which is day 3 of the month of Hammer. The new year has passed. It has been a few months since Marpanoth. It is midwinter now. It's cold outside. The wind from the ocean is sweeping across the city, bringing cold, icy snow and sleet that coats every crevice of this place. Everybody's walking around bundled up, except for
Look,
those
man,
who
I
have a
don't play
natural
D&D
affinity.
because it mirrors my normal life. Can we not have it be
Don't you know
Brother,
what this
it's
game
summer
is?
here.
cold and miserable? Oh boy.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to find out what happened. So, like, right before we go back and truly figure out what happened, we're going to find the lot of you in Trollskull Manor.
So are we having like a 3-month skip or?
Yes,
That's
we're
enough.
having a 3-month skip. So this is the way I'm going to, how I want to describe this is that you all are just sitting around a table. Like, it's been busy, but you've been able to all gather together here. And you have this morning to yourself. It's dreary outside. There's nothing pressing that you have to worry about. And the idea is that you each get to go through, hey, what did I do the last 3 months? That sort of idea. This is a fun way that I imagine this story to go today. If that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions about this?
Negative.
Not really, no.
I'm good, sire.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So, as you sit here, Grim, you, sir, you've got your ale. You've got your brew. What brew do you have? Let's take it, because in this 3-month period, Grim really cracked down on his he spent a long time figuring out just how to brew right. So Grim, what splendid brew have you produced for the folks here?
Can I ask a really quick question?
Yeah.
How much gold did we, as it might come up in all of the various things that we are doing?
It was
Brewing
10k, but I
supplies.
don't know how it was split.
How?
Okay.
That's what I was about to ask. Is how are we splitting it?
How are you
As far as I
splitting it,
know, the 10k went to the estate that we have. Technically speaking, only 3 people have access to the keep, but obviously,
Yeah, how do you guys
should
want to
money
do
be
this?
needed, Volker will be glad to finance you guys.
Okay.
Well, if we split it evenly, it's 2,000 per person.
Who are you?
Oh?
Who are you? I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly my memories got lost too.
So, the only reason why I wanted to try and hammer that out right now is because, like, if I'm gonna be buying a poisoner's kit and a I guess
Herbalist?
Volker's giving me. Volker gave me his alchemist kit. No, I have the herbalism kit, but
Okay, good.
there might be other people trying to
Yeah.
buy some things. So
I guess we can get this out of the way, which is something that near the end of the game last session, Flippy and I talked about. Was it seems like the way the story's played out, it seems like Volker has been doing a lot of the financing of this, of the game, of the group in a lot of ways. And of course that's how he has spent his time, and it would make sense that Volker could story-wise be the one with the party purse, and he's the one giving out some funds, unless you guys had any issues with that.
that's fine for me. I just have 0 gold, so I fat zeros on everything across the board. So I'm all for that. It just would be kind of neat to not turn into Volker, can I have this? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, that makes sense.
Yes, I trust Flippy to not be abusing this.
I trust Flippy and other ridiculous remarks. I mean,
I ever let
Flippy.
you down?
You will not let them know. Okay. All right. I think we've got that cleared. So in that case, it means that unless it is a huge price, a huge item or something, definitely you guys figure out the finances. But Flippy, if you're the coin purse, can you keep track of some of the purchases that are made?
Yes. Let me make another channel on my own server real quick. Finances.
I'll just make you one here. That way we can kind of see.
I can build an Excel spreadsheet for it if you guys want.
Oh, here we go. Week 1 back.
Week 1, autism hits hard, guys.
Oh man. Okay. So, back to Grim. What have you brewed for the party here today?
So because it's winter and a lot of beers are best served cold, not tepid. Screw you, Britain. Grim would have made
brewery.
probably a hard spiced cider. Nothing magical per se, but something that is served hot and is good hot to help combat the outdoor weather that is not.
I have to mention, given the thing that I have discovered, quote unquote, notice, you as a paladin, as a 10-minute ritual, you can make holy water, obviously by spending the money to make so, but I imagine, given that you have that capability, would you have, I wouldn't
use it
say...
to brew stuff?
Yeah. I would say,
that's a conversation I need to have with the DM, but realistically, yes, probably.
Okay.
I would say that this is just, it's nothing magical, it is just a nice, spiced ciders, or mulled cider that is served hot.
Okay.
I see Grim making an IPA type of company.
But it needs to be I don't know, Esbin's Folly or something. I'm gonna try and come up with names for the different things, but yeah, that's what we're drinking at the moment.
That's great. So as you are all around sipping this hot cider, first thing in the morning, like you all come down. Maybe there was a loud sound outside that woke up the heavy sleepers, but you're here having breakfast. Breakfast. The were rat halflings have cooked up because they've had some tutoring in these past several months, and so they've cooked up a breakfast of roasted quartered potatoes sprinkled with rosemary, thyme, salt. They've got some sausage links that they grilled on the stovetop over the fire, and some creamed corn to go on the side. And so you've got a pretty hearty breakfast to go along with this hot cider as they provide this to you guys. Who do you think would describe their time first? We could have it. We could roll off. Let's do a roll off, and roll a d20. Whoever's highest gets to go first.
Oh, we didn't even do the question thingy.
No.
20.
I'm very safe. My phenomenal rolls keep me incredibly safe on this one, guys. That's a 4.
Oh, I also get a 4.
On Alejandro, huh?
What are we rolling?
Roll D20 goes first. Highest goes first for some reason.
Highest goes first? Yep. I like to throw curveballs.
I see.
We got one more to wait for.
I see. Libby! Libby! Oh, bruh! No. Wait.
A tiebreaker between.
Tiebreaker. You two roll. See who goes before the other. Town got a 13. What are you rolling again for, Storak?
What are you rolling, Storak?
He's hoping to get lower, so.
Grim, you got to roll again.
I have to roll again.
Yes,
because they got 4s.
We both got 4.
Oh well, that blows chunks. That's a 19. Dang it!
So that means that we will. You guys are still low. It's just that you're going to go before town.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, Batok. Perhaps you're feeling energetic this morning, or you just notice everybody else is being quiet. So you start to talk through, at least in these tales, though, mind you, we'll get into details. We'll get into the nitty gritty that you won't necessarily share with everybody. This is just a narrative way of, I think,
the camera
going over this
pans
time
into
skip.
the past.
Exactly. The camera pans into the past. And so, for you, Batok, after the events of the dragon heist, you were still, you were kind of new. You were new to the party, and so you would have entered into this time skip maybe with more energy than some of the other members of this party. And once you saw that there was no pressing quest, there was no need to be all together, what would you have started first?
Down. Time. Bat. And just so I am completely understanding, this is what we did just in like a story format of the 3 months of downtime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will have unique scenes to run each of you through, but this is just what did you do?
Batok started off hopefully by getting a little bit closer to Volker, and discussing, probably spent the first number of weeks, I would say a solid week or solid month or so for the first bit, like really trying to, in his downtime, he would spend a lot of time working with Volker, probably. He's shown some interest in the farmer upbringing that Volker had, and more naturally connected that they had, but then also Batok, being as observant as he is, has realized that Volker is a pretty powerful little wizard, and that their magics come from incredibly different sources. Whereas Volker's is literally, he's gonna pull some bat poop out and throw a fireball using a book. Batok's, or Volker's is like that. Batok's is much more of a connection to a natural force. No god is involved. He doesn't hold himself to a higher order like Grimm does, but it's this really deep connection between nature. And so he's probably going to spend a lot of his spare time in the first while working on that Druidcraft cantripo with Volker, because Volker has that very, 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 very fascinating ability that Batok loves, to just spring plants into his palm, which is an incredibly cool thing. I need my notes. And then, providing how that goes, he would probably work with both Kia and Grimm. Batok's had this, he's a little bit of a more natural guy. He doesn't really like the enclosed city streets. He realizes the necessity of cities, but it's not what he's built for. And the party has this lovely, lovely garden out back. And Batok would spend a large portion, after maybe learning how to use this Druidcraft cantrip, or just using the other spells that he has access to, and with Kia and Grimm, mostly for his strength, but also he might know a thing or two about brewing and where that sort of stuff might go. He'd probably work with both of them to create like a naturally looking beer garden sort of thing, like an outside space that patrons can, if they wish to, sit and drink and converse. But then also a place that Batok can sort of escape into in the evenings after the tavern is closed, and just have like this little piece of nature. And he's gonna keep that super clean. He'd also probably, you'd see him start growing various, maybe perhaps a little bit more specialized herbs, as during this time he also would have delved into this world of crafting potions. Not drinks, but actually like health potions, or like whatever the case might be. And you can see him frequently now tinkering with either herbalism or a little kit or alchemy supplies that, according to Volker, were so kindly bestowed upon him. And then let's see here. I'd say that probably took up the majority of his month 2. And then for the final month, he would probably look to get pretty close to a certain bird fellow that we have. The underground people of the city talk. The people that are looked down on by society, the people that maybe smell, maybe don't look very good. They kinda... They're their own little thing, but they're also the people that are on the pulse of the city. And they kinda know when something's happening. They kinda know if there's a shift in the guilds. They kinda know because they're connected to that. And so he would like to... There was a name for this, but
Downtrodden?
No. Hold.
Are you done with the bar we went to?
Nope.
Hmm.
You flashed cop badges at the underworld.
I am Steve.
Yes, hold on. I remember what I'm looking for. I just gotta go into my notes here, fellas, and there's like 15 pages of these, so like... Batok, Herb, Waterdeep,
9/28/25.
9/28/25. See?
I didn't give no notes to the DM. I'm playing it by ear.
I gave DM my core 4 things that I was doing. Specifically, he was, Batok would be interested in, trying to gain a more friendly connection to the Lantern Folk. The people who light the way in the dark for a price. And he would probably be very, very interested on working with Nock on that. But then also trying to maybe set up the outside or like a part of the Trollskull Manor that people can bring information to without necessarily a fear of the authorities. Like, okay, I saw this guy kill somebody, but like, I think it was for a good cause. I don't want to get the authorities involved. There might be something going on. That sort of a vibe. And
Well,
be...
this is something that I had.
I can help you with that.
I cooked something up here. So you were hoping to open up channels of information and work with these lantern folk, as that's your name for them. They never gave you a name. What do you do to get their attention?
I would probably just keep coming back to start with. Batok kinda has grown up in the forest, and so he's gonna try and look for it as like a stream. If I just keep coming back, eventually they'll start to trust me.
Okay. You said that you were going to work with your bird fellow with Nock. Would you be working with him to set up this, try and meet with these lantern folk?
If he is so interested, yes.
Of course.
I need one of you to roll me this is a survival check at advantage.
That'd be more you than it would be me.
Yes, sir.
This is specifically because one of you're helping.
22.
22. In that case, you get directly what you need. Because when you return, the lantern folk are not there. There are beggars. And so you begin to look for signs of them. And occasionally you'll spot one and you'll go to approach, but the person will turn their back to you and walk away.
That's rude.
But what you speak with Nock one of these evenings, and you mention this oddity, and Nock, you think of something, and you're not necessarily familiar with the Lantern folk, but you're familiar with there are people who the Xanathar Guild are members of the Xanathar Guild would talk about do-gooders or just folks who go out of their way to do good even though they don't need to. It's just a waste of money or like something along those lines. And so, Batok, you get the idea that if you want to be noticed, you gotta start small. Start small and take care of the little people around.
Yeah, take care
Leave
of me.
food. Leave food, not coin. You don't need to do anything big. Maybe repair a random thing, bent cartwheel, broken stool. They'll notice. Treat people like neighbors, not resources. And so I presume that you start to do that when you pick up on this information. So one evening, after a week or two of this, one evening, an old beggar by the name of Baron, who normally came every night to pick up a small pack, a small bit of food, doesn't show up. And maybe it was just an off night. Next night, still doesn't show up. By the third night, you start to really pick up on something. How do you respond now that Baron stopped showing up?
I would go out of my way to find him.
What's your methods of looking?
Do I have the ability to, like, if I had known that I was going to go out and search for something, would I be able to select spells to do so?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to sort this by level. That way I can actually look at this. I would this might be a little bit gamey, I guess, but can I add a flower to all of what? Well, hold on. Can I add a flower to all of my things? So, like, whenever I help somebody, part of my ritual, I've already done it a little bit, especially with, like, various spells that I give. If I help somebody, can I give them a flower?
Yes.
In which case, the flower that I would give is a lily to everybody. Whenever somebody is helped by a certain spooky bugbear, they would receive a lily.
Okay.
And I would like to locate plants or animals. And I can locate a non-magical plant.
Say you locate your lily. Of course, you've been helping folks out, so you get a few dings, but you check in on each one. From afar, not approaching unless necessary, but you'd see, oh no, there's the old farmer that you helped fix his wheel. There's the flower shopkeeper who didn't realize the rot that the root rot that her plants had been taking on. She is still new to the job that you helped her solve. But you do find Baron in an alleyway down in the Southern Ward. Broken leg. Somebody had rolled over his leg with a cart, and he had been stuck in this filthy alleyway, not able to do anything. How would you respond?
So there's a cart on top of him?
No, somebody ran over his leg with a cart and then just kept going, left it in the dirt.
Oh.
And he had dragged himself to the alleyway, but with a pretty messed up leg, he couldn't go anywhere.
I would kneel down and first I would he would see this tendril of vine curl down my arm, and slowly these orange illuminated, just slightly glowing fruits would bloom on his on this vine that curls down his arm, and he would pick one off, offer it to Baron with a smile, and then while that's going on, I would touch his leg, and another vine would curl up from the dirt, wrap his leg, and I would cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on his leg.
Minor Restoration could probably work with our fracture too.
You bind the leg, knowing that as powerful as Cure Wounds is, it stitches flesh, it repairs arteries, but a broken leg is a broken leg. And so by binding this leg with these thick vines, you ensure that they will harden and keep his leg in place. As you repair the wounds, repair the bruising and the inflammation that is causing additional pain and damage to this leg. But you leave those vines in place, cast this spell, and you can see instant relief on Baron's face. You assure him that as long as he goes easy on his leg, he's going to be fine. Maybe you even use some of your nature magic to find a sturdy staff for him to use, to allow his leg to fully heal. But you help him here. Yeah?
I can either do, or I can also do, nope, that's level 3. Never mind, I can't do anything. That's it.
Maybe attempt a medicine check to make a splint.
I think
I enjoyed. I included the splint idea with the vines holding his leg in place. So Baron is thankful, thanks you profusely, offers to give you what little he has. Do you accept it?
No. Unless it's like a kind gesture, Batok will look back at him and say, I have much, you have little. Keep your coin and know that you have a safe place.
Baron thanks you profusely again, and you return, knowing that nobody saw, really. Knowing that Baron's taken care of, probably would have died there if not for you. But you return back. The next day, you are in the evening time walking through the city searching for, just maybe your nightly practice. It's the beer garden's under construction at the moment. You hired a contractor to put in some nice fencing. when a young fellow with a broken nose but sharp eyes kind of stops you by an alleyway, smiles at you. He's got a chipped tooth, and he says, "Hi, man. Hey, man, can you watch that door for me? And if a fellow with a tall hat comes by, you can go ahead and leave. Is that fine?"
Watch the door, and if a fellow with a tall hat comes by, leave.
Aye.
Which door?
Points to the side entrance of a printing shop.
Right. If I see a fellow with a tall hat, I'll take my leave.
Yeah, and try and stop anybody else from going in that door.
Don't
Thanks.
stop.
Believe it.
How long do you wait there?
Until I see a fellow with a tall hat.
You wait there 4 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Batok is very good at being patient. He is not bothered by that.
It is literally almost midnight. You hear the bell toll in the distance. A cold, wintry fog has descended on the streets when you hear footsteps and a cane and a hooded lantern coming up the street. And you see a fella with a tall top hat, cloaked, carrying the hooded lantern, walk up to the printing shop, look around, walk to the side door, and enter.
I will take my leave.
You leave. By the time you get to this 3rd month, you've been helping folks out, little things here and there. One of the nights where you're in the tavern, you're enjoying a meal, you overhear.
Chinese meal.
You overhear. It's no longer rumors. It's no longer just gossip. You hear somebody speak a little bit louder than typically. Loud enough for you to hear. You know that. Saying, I better stay off of the alleyway down on 4th and 2nd Street. Heard there's going to be a real big fight out there. You get the
All right.
impression that this is, and like he says this in a directed way, and you know that you can hear it, but in the hubdub of the tavern around, it's like could easily pass by as just, oh, this is just a rumor. But there's a glint in his eye as this guy's giving you information. He's not just spreading a rumor.
I will nod ever so imperceptibly. And I'll try and sneak my way to the alley off 4th and 2nd.
You sneak your way into the alley of 4th and 2nd. And I made those streets up, by the way. Don't go looking for them.
Well, they are in my notes now, DM. They are canon.
You know what? Change those streets. The street of the corner of Copper Street and Seidel Street. Sidle.
Title.
And
Gotta start off that corner of Copper and Seidel Street.
Yep. When you get there and hang about, you notice there's a group of 2 teenagers just kind of loitering One of them strikes up a pipe, but just loiters. When coming from the other direction, you see a singular teenager, smaller kid, walking through. He's got a back to the side and hunched shoulders, and you see the two larger teens kind of tense their muscles and straight their backs. I mean, like, you've got such high perceptive skills. You can tell that these guys are waiting for this kid.
I would like to. I do not have this. Oh, I do actually potentially have the score. I would like to try and break up the fight by like looking spooky, or like I don't want to. The goal here is not to approach and show my face, to show who I really am, but like to break up the fight by scaring them that there might be something worse.
Have disguise self, so.
I do have disguise self. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I have an idea. That would have been epic, but it's a 3rd level spell, I think.
It's an
No, I just
alter
don't
self,
get-
a 2nd level spell.
No, I was gonna cast darkness on them, but I don't have access to it. That would have been epic.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Oh no, the drows are back!
I will, is disguise self? Hold on. I don't have disguise self.
Certain that's a druid spell.
It is a druid spell. I will put up my cloak and like start my like that I was known in my past as the guy with the creepy smile a little bit. And I will cast silence on them. So the world goes completely silent. There is no sound. The bustling of the streets goes mute. Their conversation ends. There is no sound. And then I will sort of like almost meld out of the shadows with this big toothy grin, and otherwise my face is shrouded in this cloak.
You do this, and one of the fellows, you can see his mouth open to as if he yelled something, and then his eyes goes wide, looks around, looks at his buddy. And you can see they'd pulled out bats that they had been hiding in their clothing. Give me an intimidation check at advantage.
Intimidation. Natural 20. All right.
Twice in a row.
You can see both of their pants darken as they turn around and just book it down the street. And you can hear the footsteps of the other kid stop. And he says, "Whoa! Who are you, Krieger man?"
They cannot hear anything. Silence.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you'd only got the other kids. So you do this.
My intent was to like silence everybody in that area. It's a 20-foot
Okay.
20-foot radius, so it's a pretty big.
Yeah, 40 foot diameter.
Yeah,
that's kind of insane.
You do this. You watch the two kids just run. You turn around, the other kid had backed up, and he's staring at you with wide eyes.
I will, at that point, I'll maintain silence, but I will take my cloak off my head, show him like that I'm not actually as spooky as I look, flash him actually like a, not a creepy smile, but like a smile, nod my head, and then I will melt back into the shadows. And
Beautiful.
I will use my last second level spell slot, and I will cast Pass Without a Trace, so I actually just melt away.
That's great. I love that.
I cannot wait to hear like the boogeyman.
Hey,
Rumors spreading around.
I did say that my character was based off of the boogeyman a little bit. I gotta keep up. I gotta make sure they know.
When you return to the manor, you go through the beer garden. And part of being in the core, like we're in the city, there's bound to be moss and lichen that grows on stone and whatnot. But in the corner, above a thick portion of moss, you see chiseled, scratched into the side of not yours, but the manor, a small, I'll make sure I describe this exactly how we had. A small lantern symbol, right at ankle level. And there's a small sliver of parchment paper on the moss.
I will look at the parchment paper.
It says, if you ever need something, you leave word where the moss grows.
Particularly just of worse considering the moss and everything that this guy is tweaking about.
Batok will nod under the impression that there might be somebody watching.
Okay. Batok? I believe that was what you had wanted to go over, yes?
Yes. The one question that I have is, I know we didn't roll anything, but we did talk about Druidcraft the cantrip as a ranger, which is a little weird, but, yay,
I
nay.
don't have access to, shape earth, shape water, elementalism.
With you, I think it works well that you, sir, working with Volker and spending that considerable time and just rewarding that sort of roleplay, that both you and Volker can pick up a cantrip that is themed to what you guys have worked on.
Oh, excellent. I would say then for you, Flippy, you should look at the Druid cantrip list.
Sure.
Because rangers don't get cantrips, but...
Batok, thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
So, effectively, there's now a beer garden attached to the manor that you're right now growing hardy plants that in a fantasy world grow in the middle of winter, but doing what you can. Next up is Kia. Kia, how did you spend your 3 months?
Ooh, let me pull up my notes. Let's see. Kia decided to spend the first part of those 3 months going back to her monastery. I think I named it. Was it the Sanctum of Azalian? Was the name?
Okay. Yes.
Vaseline.
And she decided to go back to not just investigate the rotting corruption that she had heard of from Bat Talk, but also to just recap life with her monastery people. And she met up with a couple people in particular, Thalen Mossquiet, who's an herbalist in training. And there she worked on her physician's touch with him and poisoning skills and some other herbalist skills that maybe she would want to hone in on and have the ability to maybe make poisons or elixirs or something. She also trained a little bit more and just in all got wisdom from kind of her father figure there, Sailwind, for kind of what may lie ahead when she returns back to the city. On her way back, about a month later, month and a half, not sure how long the travel time is, but she comes back with more information maybe on the rot. Not quite sure what the information would be yet, to bring back to Batok and anybody else. She brings back some gifts and trinkets for everybody, including some monastic brew for Grim, seeds for the garden, and some other herbalist things for Fala. Back in the city, she continues to hone her healing skills and do what she was doing before she left, just kind of going out and helping people. She kind of has not necessarily an explicit ulterior motive, but she's also kind of gaining information and making a bit of a network of people that she's acquainted with or knows, and kind of how people interact. So it's kind of her way of keeping eyes on the city for anything that might be happening. And just help around the inn, maybe tidy it up a bit, give it a little more life. Help Batok in the garden, since it sounds like he's working in the garden. So that would be like kind of that second half of the 3 months, or give or take.
Well, that works, because we're going to return to that first half of the 3 months, to when you went to go visit the monastery. Because you went to visit the monastery expecting the same old monastery. Part of the travel between Waterdeep and the Sanctum is there's a small village on the edge of the forest. That's where Arendelle of the Outer Path would also stayed. And it's here that you had ran into Sailwind Fernstep, your mentor, your father figure. It is here there where you had only heard you'd heard from Batok that something had happened there, that something had happened at the monastery. But what it was, the rot, it's something about the rot and people disappearing. Hard to believe that. But when you ran into Sailwind here, you got a full slap to the face about what really happened. It's here that you learned that almost overnight, most of the monks and acolytes here in the monastery went missing. Sailwind, Thalen, and a few other of the monks, they themselves were tending to the people in the area of this valley, where They were being affected by starvation. Their crops had been failing. They were providing aid where they could. And so when they returned to the monastery, finding it empty, they decided, let's not be white people in a horror movie and leave. And so they did and stayed in the village here where they know that Arundel was. And so you spent some time with Sailwind, but perhaps you felt a call to the monastery, the sanctum, to go investigate. But did you decide to investigate?
Yes, she would. She'd go back and see if there was anything that she could pick up on, given her knowledge that maybe she's gathered in the city. And it seems that since Thayan went back, he didn't disappear, so she trusts that she won't just magically vanish immediately. So
Yes.
And this is where Kia's new character gets introduced.
The monastery still stands. That is the first and most unsettling thing. You can see stone walls remain upright. Roof tiles are intact. Prayer bells hang where they always have. From a distance, it looks untouched, as if the monks simply stepped away for an afternoon and never returned. Up close, the truth begins to seep in. Part of being an elf with such a long life, memory is an interesting thing. It doesn't work like humans. The way that that elves store and maintain such sharp memory over the long ages, and other long-lasting races, they themselves have to deal with this in their own ways, but they're much more in tune with their past, to the point where if they relive a memory, it is almost as if they exist in that memory. It is so real to them. And so, for you step onto the first terrace, the first patio of the monastery. You feel the stone beneath you. It's cool, and it reminds you of a time when you were younger. The stone's not cold. The air smells of damp bark and tea leaves. You're younger, lighter, barefoot on the monastery's eastern terrace. You see leaves that drift down from the old banks at the forest edge, spinning lazily. No one brushes them away. No one needs to. You can see a younger Master Sailwind standing nearby, hands folded in his sleeves, watching the leaves fall as though they are students as well. When he turns his head to you and says, "Tell me, which leaf will land first?" Do you choose to respond quickly or wait to answer?
I'll observe for a few
How do you-
seconds and then answer.
How do you spell Thalwyn?
Sailwind. I'll send it to the chat.
Yeah, if you could just, yeah.
That'd be great.
There you go. You say wait a second and then give an answer. You point out one leaf that might land first, but of course, in the as the wind begins to blow, it rises slightly before landing perhaps 35th. And Salin smiles and says, "Speed is useful. Certainty is not the same thing. Patience is not passivity. Remember that observation is also action." You exit this memory to see this empty place. The air smells damp still, but now it's sweet and faintly metallic. And moss grows where it never did before, pale and veined. No birds sing here. Even the insects are quiet. And you would immediately feel that this place is not dead. It is holding its breath. You had mentioned that maybe you would have brought Grim along with you. Would you have?
I think
That'd be ideal. I think Grim was interested in looking into
some brewing, right?
into the monk's methods of brewing, and also maybe discovering some more about his own healing magics.
So it sounds like Grim would be with me then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you decide to investigate further?
Can I roll for like perception or something like that? Just to
Yes,
see if there's
absolutely.
anything I can observe first.
Absolutely.
17.
17. Your
38.
eyes stay quite wide. Did you say 38?
1738. Hey, I'm
Oh.
making myself hello.
I got correct.
I'm
You
muted, sorry.
remain perceptive. You are alert. There doesn't seem to be anything around. But your eyes will be open.
I will continue forward very cautiously.
Okay. You can hear the clank of Grim's boots on the stone behind you as he's keeping an eye out as well. But you don't know what he's noticing. Because we'll get to his part later.
Grim is notoriously blind, though.
I don't think I remember. I don't think I heard you right.
Grim is notoriously blind.
There we go. Thank you. As you pass by the sparring arena, you feel another memory. You hear the bells ring low and slow, not a call, but a reminder. The courtyard is lit by fireflies and lantern alike. No voices, no commands. You spar without words. Throughout this memory, this first memory you have is against an elder, one who you know is notoriously calm and never strikes first. As you spar with this elder, it shifts. You're sparring with a peer who fights too aggressively, as this time you're on the defense. The elder taught you restraint over dominance, but you watch as this peer fights aggressively. You learn that balance is better than force. The bell rings once more. The forest answers with crickets, and your memory fades. You continue onward. Within the main hall, where normally ritualistic behavior would happen, the prayers, the mantras with candles burning, you find that there are stools set into seated places at tables with bowls, untouched by the seated seats. There are no signs of struggle. The main ritual area, you can see that the incense burners are all burned down to ash, all at the same length. Someone had ended a ritual. No one began another. And it's here where you really start to see the signs of what this rot is. Roots had begun to push up through the stone floors. It's here where the stone is uneven. And there's a fungus, a mycelium-like spiderweb fungus connected to these roots into the ground. And I'll have you make another perception check as you're in here.
Fungus among us.
25.
And an insight
Whoa!
check. Oh, beautiful.
Sweet.
25.
There we go.
Roll an insight check for me.
You said insight?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said perception. Sorry.
No. Perception. I did say perception. I wanted to.
Okay.
So you're good.
There's the other side of the roll.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Well,
I mean, Grim is there, right? Would Grim be giving aid or help?
What exactly is my part in this? I don't know if I'm supposed to do nothing or if I'm just kind of like. You said that we'll get to
Your
my
part
part
is-
later.
I
I
would-
didn't know if that meant.
I would
know if that meant we were-
allow Grim. I would allow you to provide help to Kia.
That would be great.
Okay, I will do that.
Depending on what Kia rolls for the second insight roll, I will describe how you help her. Because there's one way I have in mind.
So do I need to roll again, or is
Yes,
the
roll another insight check. You roll an insight
Okay.
check.
It's better
17.
to
That's
do
much
roll.
better. With a 25 perception, you see these growth forming along the walls, these like these columns almost, and they've got bark texture to them. They're very tough, and they're approximately evenly spaced along the walls, especially in these areas of the meditation. And with 25 perception, it seems strange how similar to ribs they look like.
And you said this is coming out of where?
notice, this is coming out of the ground,
Ground. Okay.
but it's forming along the walls, climbing up. But you notice that with a 25 perception, this sort of rot, this fungus, you don't know what this is. It seems to favor places of meditation or areas that were renowned for their stillness, rooms that were once used for healing, which, like, with a 25 got all of that information. And with a DC 16 insight check, you get the impression, you're getting this impression, you're not quite sure, when Grim steps up beside you and says, well, Grim, I don't know what you say, but you get the idea that now would be a good time to use your divine sense. And so you do. And this aura of aberrant energy just fills your senses. What would you say to Kia in this moment, Grim?
This place is unholy. We should leave.
Very glorious of you, sir.
Yeah, maybe we don't. Maybe we say that this must be purged.
Boy.
Kia, you get the impression that this rot is drawn to calm minds.
She's going to look at Grim and say, just a little bit more time here. I need to search just a little bit more.
Would Divine Sense give me any kind of indication of a center or like an epicenter for this rot, or does it just kind of give me a general feel of the area?
For 10 minutes, you can just
normally with
see...
Divine Sense, you get like a direction. You don't get a direction here. It's all over. From
But
the
there's
rot
no
itself.
there's no area where it's stronger. It doesn't feel like the rot is emanating from a certain place.
No. Just down. Just down. Yeah. You take this moment while Grim goes off and does his thing, which we'll address in his callback. You enter the inner sanctum, one of the deepest meditation chambers. The stone floor is cracked open in a spiral pattern, and there's a very narrow shaft that descends into darkness at the center. And you get the scent of wet stone and brine. Blackened root veins trace unintelligible sigils around the room. But near the center of the room, you find a mask. It is facing inward, as if left intentionally, set neatly on the floor. This was Elfira's mask.
I get that name.
I'll send it to the chat.
Kia walks forward and picks it up and sees if there's anything she can discern from it, or if there's any signs of struggle in the room, or that there was anybody else down here.
Yeah. With your checks and your perception check carrying you through, there is no sign of struggle. And the way that this mask was placed, it was intentional. She left. She chose to leave. As far as you could tell.
And I'm at the very bottom of this area, or at the top? That's one detail I didn't get. Like the...
This is the deepest part. This is the inner sanctum.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
But yeah,
cracks
there's
and
no-
spiral patterns. Not like a shaft or anything. It's just a room.
Yeah.
But there's only one entrance and exit. At least visible.
Yes. That is true.
She'll tuck the mask into her bag in hopes that she can return it one day. And kind of turn to Grim and say that there's not much more she can find currently. And that they should make their way out to avoid provoking anything.
Roll initiative.
Did Grim see anything else? You had said that he went off and did his thing.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
can hear you. Yes.
Yes, sire.
Good. What did you say, Grim?
Did Grim see anything else? You said that Grim kind of went off and did his own like adventure, I guess. I didn't know if that meant that Grim
I've got
was
something.
somewhere else. Okay.
Grim was somewhere else for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's saving it for when we get to your part of the story.
That is.
I'm
Yes.
just wondering. So it sounds like Kia finds me on her way out then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So Grim would I guess agree and go out.
We're just assuming that everything works out. So in that case, you take the mask with you. You can put
Roll a new character.
Yes. Roll a new cake. But it just explodes. You all die. Before you, as you're all leaving, I need each of you to make me wisdom saving throws.
Oh no! You have. What is your charisma modifier?
22.
Sire, what is
Uh,
your charisma modifier?
charisma or wisdom?
Charisma.
You know, your
Oh, charisma. That's a 9.
Thank you. So this would be the end of your stint, I believe, Kia, unless there was anything else that you wanted to do in this 3-month period.
you have your aura of protection now.
Yes.
Not really, other
That's
than
what we're
the
trying to-
things that I have conducted when I'm back in the city. And I'll probably fill that talk in my return on what has transpired at the Sanctum.
Yeah, so Morgoth, just
Wait,
to be clear,
wait, hang on.
We're asking about your charisma modifier because you have a 6th level paladin feature that gives
I have
you
it.
and your
I
allies.
didn't think about it.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
I'm not tweaking out for no reason.
So I get to add my charisma modifier to a saving throw again.
Yes.
Any.
So
No.
that's-
So you make a wisdom. Right. So yeah. So it's a wisdom It's a wisdom saving throw. So you roll a d20, add your wisdom saving modifier, but then also get to add your charisma modifier.
So basically, you go
Hold up.
12, I think.
You said this was a charisma saving throw.
No, it was a wisdom saving throw.
So wisdom saving throw. Okay, so that's a 10.
Okay.
Plus your charisma modifier.
Not my charisma saving throw modifier, my charisma modifier, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
What is your
Okay, yes,
score
it's a 10.
right now? What is your
I
charisma
rolled a
score?
3. My wisdom
He's
saving
got a
throw is a
plus 3.
4. My charisma is a 3. That means 10.
Yes. Yes.
I got you, fam. All right, thank you. So, in that case, we can continue. This information is going to aid you guys as you investigate going forward what Kia picked up over here. But that sort of specifics we don't need to get into just yet. It's going to be more along the lines of, Kia rolled to recall knowledge, roll some sort of check, that sort of deal, with what you picked up on this trip. But
Journey.
thank you, Kia. Next up is 9-5. Good old Volker.
Me.
All right, Volker, what were you up to?
Well, I would say after this whole everything happened, Volker would have spent, I would say, at least 2 weeks, resting.
Yeah.
all things considered, he went through a lot.
Yeah.
Mostly mentally, but also physically as of late, considering that he almost got decapitated. So he would spend a week or two with just like resting and meditating and healing his spirit, essentially. After that, after his mini seclusion vacation, he would have been interested in obviously helping his friends, helping Batok with his spellcasting. I've yet to decide what cantrip I'm gonna be getting because Storak doesn't like anything that I'm suggesting.
Yeah, it's because you're
You can
suggesting
decide
the
later.
most OP. I'm gonna collect guidance now. It's like Flippy. I'm just gonna
It's
pick
gotta be
one,
nature
and it's
related, buddy.
The spirits
mold
guide me,
herb.
I said, and he said, "Fuck you."
You can take
You're out
mold
of the
herb.
fate. The spirits don't talk to you now.
I will discuss that later with you two.
Yes.
But I think that I have had interest mostly because it's a lingering thing that has been happening since this whole thing ended. I would be interested in working with Nock, provided his finicky ass allows me to do so. He remembers the Stone of Golor trying to take from him as he broke attunement from it. He was able to succeed and cling on to his memories, but Nock was not fortunate enough. I would be interested in trying to fix him if I could.
Okay.
I would start with the first thing that would come to him in his mind would be like, this is something given by this malignant entity, so something that digs deep. So I think that he would imagine would be a curse that has been placed upon him, so he is not able to spread the information that he gathered. And I do have access to that spell, so I would be interested in casting it upon him. To begin with this helping journey.
Absolutely. You are bold and somatic. You go ahead and touch knock, casting remove curse. And as the arcane words surround Nock's head, as it typically hones in on where the curse is situated, you can feel it begin to try and bind upon this curse. Go ahead and roll me a percentage die.
Fuck, man, what is it? The 100?
D100, yes. You want to roll low.
No, that doesn't seem low enough.
The strength of whatever is afflicting Nock repels your attempt.
Okay, my question is if this is I felt like this attempted to do something but was not able to latch on. So, am I capable of casting that again? Because I could cast, it's like 3 plus 1 plus... I could be able to cast it 5 times a day. if I
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah, you could keep on trying. Yeah. Try as
I
much as you'd
hate
like.
this fucking bird. Is 17
The
low
second
enough?
time, you magic is interesting because it's a science for you, it's a study for you. That's definitely more to it. It's not like a sorcerer who feels it. You're not like a bard who just taps it, artistically feels it. No, this is a matter of study for you, and you, sir, are not going to be rebuffed by a rock. So with your second try, you free Nox's memory and remove the curse afflicting him. The chance was 20%.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a 1 in 5.
Yep.
Yeah, Volker is. Flippy is just playing his autistic self with Volker.
Listen, shut up.
That's funny.
I'm
So,
listening.
what else do you do?
Now that his memories would have been fixed, I assume that he's not as paranoid as he was with Volker before, right? Nock?
No, he
Or
wouldn't be as paranoid. Probably even before that, he wouldn't have been as paranoid after everything that had happened. But yeah, he's definitely a lot more calm with everything now.
I think that he would have been interested, given that he was already something that he was working on before they met. Would have been to um learn how to pick lock picks and such. He had previously bought a resin lock that would have been able to be um what's this word, like relocked for training. All I needed was a thieves tool, but now we have a two, one for him and one for me.
Mhm.
So provided that Nock is willing, I would have been looking to learn how to gain proficiency in thieves tools. Another thing that I was thinking, it's a really cool spell that got released recently. I don't have it at hand. It would have been a cartomancy spell, obviously. There is a spell that lets you you can provide people with a proficiency that you have, and they can keep it based on the spell level. And it would be like 3 days, and then it's like 10 days, depending on the level that I spend for upcasting. At the moment, it would have been for 3 days. So throughout those days, he would have been providing the rattlings for like learning a language, learning something that would be of their interest to like get them acquainted to Volker casting mashing on them. Should it be fuck? I wonder what happens if I cast remove curse on them, because lycanthropy is technically a curse. I will not be doing
Oh, we're
that though.
gonna lose our help.
I'm not gonna be doing that.
I'm a big
But that's
kid
something
now,
that he would have
guys. I
been
don't have a.
doing. Um. Uh. Beyond that, now that he has time to not worry about everything, and I would assume that the gangs are not as active, considering that the big pool of money is gone, and at least for the Drow organization, their leader is known now. He feels more safe to do his things. Probably a great mistake in the comics, but he will be interested in furthering his research with Lady Luck and how fate works. He was able to notice someone ignoring the um, his portent ability. So that definitely spiked his interest to see how can someone just ignore fate like that. Alongside, mostly for his level 6 ability of letting him be a what's his word? A divination savant. He will be trying to see how he could further expertise in his divination magic, going to the library, consulting with the other because it has been established that there is a sect of wizards that are more no wizards and other um, clairvoyant people of their sightings. Um, that would probably take him a while, though. I don't imagine access to knowledge of the fate and this particular deity is that often spoken for. Um, um, he would also be interested in once his blood pressure returns to a stable number. He will be interested in further taking Fala or dates. Alongside, I think that he wanted to do keeping it 100 with the party. If we do split it 5 ways and we all have 2k each, I don't know which of you said. I'll be interested in once later down when the season begins to change and the weather turns colder. It's usually the harshest time for the farmer folks to either they have to stock up or spend the resources to maintain their farmstead animals. So I would be interested in inviting Kia, Batok, Fala to visit his family. This was Kia, Batok, and Fala. I would be interested. If they are interested, they could come follow him for the winter celebration with his family. He would be interested in providing. Obviously, he would be taking it himself. He would like to bring 1,000 dragons in like a small coffer for him to provide for his family. I am aware that it's an exorbitant high amount of gold to be given to a small family of farmers, but I also have the expectation that they will not spend it all on themselves and will provide assistance to the whole farming sector
Community.
should they require help.
Absolutely.
Just worth. I would obviously be learning spells provided that have the time and money to do so, but that's something that I can do on my own. But yes, um, if they are free and
Yeah.
so wishes to do so, the Batok and Kia are more than welcome to come join Volker.
Yeah. Who would join him for this
I'll
winter
go.
celebration?
I'll go.
Awesome. Kia.
Kia would. She is currently has bacon on her hands at the moment, so she can't unmute herself.
Begin. Let's go.
Birkin.
No, I'm not sharing. Thanks for asking.
Well, that's not fair.
Life isn't fair.
That's right. Yeah, you guys join Volker at this winter celebration. And there's none of you have I mean, obviously Volker has, but none of you have spent a winter celebration after a year of farming saved from catastrophe earlier on due to a fungal growth. But you've never been to a winter celebration of a family of halflings, a family of halfling farmers. It's a time of beautiful music. The area is the cottages are decorated with streamers and tinsel and candlelight that gives off this the warm welcoming light. And the food, oh, the food is to die for. There's dishes of every root vegetable that you can grow. There's roast duck. There's a side of lamb. There's obviously mashed potatoes. There's potatoes. Boiled potatoes, mashed potatoes, stewed potatoes, all of the above. And it is a night of wonder and magic. Volker, you present this gift to your parents who try to absolutely refuse. They would absolutely refuse you, or try to refuse this gift. But you, with your logic, you push for them to accept this. And so eventually they give in. But then your father pulls you to the side and says, he wants to, like, you've done so much in your time in the city. You've obviously are doing very well, and they couldn't be more proud of you. So they want to give you a family heirloom.
Oh,
This, he says that their family's been holding on to this magic. They know it's a magic item because, well, it was given. Your great granddad was gifted this, and he was able to utilize this. But over time, they stopped because magic stuff. You can't exactly control everything. Volker, give me a roll. I know this is not necessary. It's not worth 1,000 gold pieces, that's for sure. But roll me a d3.
okay. Slash R 1d3. 1.
He goes to a chest kept in the closet and pulls out a bag. It appears to be an ordinary bag, and it's made from a gray cloth bag. And as he hands it to you, it appears to be empty. But he says that this bag, it's known to produce critters. Like there's a few critters in there that I don't know what the magic is. I've never used it myself because, frankly, I'm a simple man. I'm not going to be doing much of that. But you go and take this. And he hands you a gray bag of tricks.
I don't remember which the gray one does. I know what the
Says
rust
that-
one does, but that's how I do it.
Yes. Says that you'll definitely know how to use this. And the night finishes. Now, was there anything else that you wanted to accomplish in this month? Otherwise, I have
Yes,
one more thing. Yep.
I did mention that I was interested in furthering his divination knowledge and such. I
Yes.
do not know what else do you have in mind, but
Well, your pursuit with this, I don't necessarily I want to really put more thought into this divination pursuit, but to get you in the door. Because you're right. It's not as simple as you walk up and say, "Hey, I'm a divination wizard, let me in." You actually have to invest your time and effort and energy and resources. And so you put in an application. Wizards are an official sort, particularly city wizards. And so you put forth an application. Go ahead and make me I know you have the magic to train yourself in certain sets, and so go ahead and make me a calligrapher's tools check.
I already know
To-
that myself. I don't even have to use
Ah,
magic.
there you go. You don't even have to use magic. Make a calligrapher's tool check to write your application letter into this to be able to access this information. It's
Real
not
quick,
application. It's more like
Real quick, let me just do this. Haven't done it in a while.
oh, that's good.
Right.
Good idea.
Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah.
19
Is that a
and an
19 I
8.
spot, huh?
That is a nice. Oh no.
Let's
So-
mulligan for the nat 20, huh?
I was gonna say, are we gonna crit fish now?
No, we'll keep it at that. So you can roll that 19. You can use that 19, add your proficiency and all of the above.
So it would have been,
Um,
charisma plus, our proficiency bonus is like what, 3? I have
Yeah.
plus 1 charisma plus 3 plus 4, so 4 plus 19? So, 23? I think that's how it goes, right? Let me just do a dummy roll check to see how it looks. Yeah, it will be 23.
23. Yes. So remind me, what are you looking for specifically?
Well, the two things that he was trying to look onto is continuing his studies about Lady Luck, and also he was greatly interested in learning how can someone that is not a divination savant can just ignore fate, like I forgot the name of that drow man
Yes.
deal.
Oh.
Garlaxel.
Yarlaxle.
It's been a moment
Yes.
or two.
You
Oh.
write this beautifully penned letter to Mayor Seltsun, who you know is part of the Watchful Order, is a diviner part of the Watchful Order. And so you get this in with Mayor, and you are allowed, and in short order, and you get a response letter that congratulates you on your work, as well as allows you to access the records for a period of time. So go ahead and roll me an Arcana check and an investigation check.
Hey, let me just
DC,
cast Enhance Ability real quick.
good idea. Because for Lady Luck, you're looking at a DC 18. But for your your pursuit about how this man could deny your control of fate is a DC 21.
Oh, would it have been in the same day? That's my question that I got my reply.
No, it would not have been a roll your burdens again. I gotta respect
Yeah.
the hustle.
16 would have been enough to force a 20. You said what is a high DC one?
21.
So we can have that one out of the way just in case. I will be rolling though. So you said
Okay.
a investigation and an arcana, or how did it work?
Yes. Investigation and an arcana.
An advantage. Investigation.
Wow.
An
Yeah,
arcana.
okay.
Yeah. Well, you find information on both. You deep dive study and go hardcore into this. And first off, you're finding information on Lady Luck. Now, I would love to be able to tell you, oh, this is Lady Luck or that is Lady Luck. But frankly, I feel like this study that you are doing is, I'm going to do what I've done before, is you can ask me 3 questions. And if you want to wait to ask me, you can just text them to me later and I'll answer them later.
Gamer. Okay.
Yep. As for your Arcana check, you delve into the fates, and you had early on you had separated yourself from the web of fate. That is something like, how do you even do that? But you did it, dealing with Lady Luck, but also just yourself. But how can people ignore you, who they themselves are tied with fate? And there's nothing explicitly said, but you begin to glean from different historical accounts of paragons, of people who are so important to what is known as the current the timeline. Like it's a theoretical process, is the idea that we are all on a certain timeline, but it's thought that there are alternate realities that follow a similar timeline. But this is all into the weeds of it. What the theorists talk about is there are some people with enough significance, people, creatures, monsters, whatever, with enough significance in the world, in this life, that they are able to unconsciously influence their own fate. Not necessarily in the same way a diviner wizard does, but through force of will, force of importance to whatever reality you have, can ignore the minor touches of fate. Not separate, but just straight up ignore.
What the fuck?
You now have an in-universe reason for legendary resistances.
Trust
My
me.
universe.
Absolutely
So,
vile. Now, my question
absolutely.
was something that I completely forgot to poke you in the 10 centuries that we have not talked about this campaign.
Yep.
And that would have been like the filler thing that I would have been doing up until now. Hardest work halfling. Um, would this accomplishment of receiving, like providing the city the money that was taken and undercovering the leader, providing information about the
Yes.
leader of a gang or uh, leader of a crime gang, would that have affected the standings that he had with the Watchful Order of Magists? Because last I
Well,
know,
I'm
it
getting a
was
phone call,
like,
guys. Give me a second.
you're good. You, sir. Well, that is what I had set for you because I didn't get a lot of you leading up to this session. And so I set my own things for you, which is yes, you, sir, have been invited in these 3 months to 4 separate parties, 4 separate black tie events with some of the upper members of the Watchful Order. You've been noticed. Your reports have been noticed. Your promotion is fresh. You're promising. And frankly, promising things are tested. And so perhaps you've taken Fala to these black tie events. She's been able to wear the fancy clothing that you purchased her. And Volker, she's gorgeous. But one such event stands out to you. You're making connections, you're getting names, so much so that potentially in the future, you might have some some strings that you can pull. But one of the latest dinners happened just recently. You recall this vividly. A senior magist raises a glass. The wine catches the light like liquid rubies. When she declares to the several magists around, all of these people are members of the Watchful Order. But she says, "Oh, the Undermountain. It's such an inelegant problem." Around you, you can hear a few people chuckle in a polite way, rehearsed. It's nothing, it's all politics sometimes. But then somebody else speaks up. Officially, he says, well, twisting some of the rings on his fingers. It is outside of the jurisdiction of the Watchful Order. Too many old accords, too many personal claims. Next to you, your direct superior lowers their voice just enough for you to hear. Says, what he's saying, unofficially, of course, is it's quite troubling that a criminal enterprise has entrenched itself so deeply beneath our city. What do you think?
While I often prefer to keep things, I forgot the word, like legitimate, like like official. We'll keep things official. I would not be. I could be persuaded to look up on it.
He
Obviously, whispering back
smi-
to them.
he smiles and puts a finger up to his forehead and then to his ear to indicate that you listen. Somebody else says, I. This jurisdiction is an issue because that's Xanathar Guild. They're hardly the sort, those beasts and thieves. They're hardly the sort to appreciate proper magical stewardship. Why? The Undermountain's full of magical secrets. Then the original speaker, the older magist, responds. Well, fortunately, the city is full of enterprising individuals, adventurers, mercenaries. Then you see her just quickly glance at you and then back at the crowd. And she says, I'm sure you all are aware, but there are investors who would pay very handsomely to see certain nests cleared. And, she adds, to see particular magical items returned to the surface, catalogued, contained, and studied. At this point, she sips her wine. Not confiscated, of course. No, recovered. This is when the conversation begins to continue in a more quiet way. When your superior speaks to you again. You know, Volker, you strike me as someone who believes knowledge should serve the greater good. Beyond a mountain is just knowledge that's left to fester.
It is a coffer of lost knowledge and information. What knows could lie underneath there? Very
Who
many
knows?
terrible things, but so much knowledge to be found there.
You're right.
By the way, we all started by dipping our toes into like the upper layers of the
Undermountain.
dungeon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I met my people by delving there. That troll just showed up upon us. I'm certain we can take one now, but what an exhilarating thing it was back then. How time flies.
That's fascinating. Why, you're an adventurer yourself, aren't you?
How else would I have gotten all the information that I provide the Watchful Order?
That's a good point.
By staying above ground and just writing down as magical things just happen to have. I was there when the fireball incident happened. I was the first one to arrive in terms of our organization, and I shoot a glance at I assume the guy that forgot his name.
I think it's Barnaby, maybe.
Barnaby.
Yeah, Barnaby's there.
I shoot a glance and I look at him. Obviously, I would imagine he would have been busy because it's a private conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Well,
I do not mind delving into the sewers or other nasty places.
Well, that's good. It's fortunate that you have such freedom. Because, well, unfortunately, most of us can't quite act like that. Take that as you will, good sir, as your supervisor leaves you be. And the rest of the evening goes by uneventfully. But you can take what they said as you will. And we'll end your portion of the night here.
Yes, sir.
Next up, who rolled the 19? Is it you, Grim?
It was oh my god. It was Grim that rolled the 19.
But
And he's still on the
13.
phone. So he's away from Mike right now.
All right, Knock, you're up.
Okay. So rolled me nothing. I see how it is.
Or we could just all kind of sit here.
Yeah, let's just no, I'm just kidding.
All right, then. I'm going to work. I'll see you guys later.
No, I'm fine.
All right.
By the
Nock.
way, if Nock wants to do something with Volker, I'm more than free.
Likewise.
What would you do, sir?
Well, for the first week, Nock would definitely have been still extremely paranoid. After everything that's happened, there's always the worry that the Xanthar's Guild would come back at some point. He's already known that they know where he's at somewhere, and for that period of time, he's probably waiting for the Tiger's Eye individual to give him some information as to how they know where he is. But so during that first week, he'd probably
It's
just
not
be
like one
Yeah.
of his agents took him to open, picklock the place that he's standing
yeah.
at.
Well, hey, it's not about that. It's about the fact that they knew he was in the library when he was there.
True. Maybe don't be cringe.
Yeah, maybe I just don't be cringe. So for the first week, I would say that he probably did not leave the tavern at all. He probably just stayed inside the entire time.
Yeah, that makes two.
Probably just peeking out the windows, trying to just get an idea as to like the goings on from the tavern. Not really leaving or doing anything special. So a week would probably go by, and he would eventually pretty much just get fed up with just staying inside the entire time. Now, Batok, I know that you wanted to do things. I don't know when in that timeline you wanted to kind of start going off and finding connections to the underworld.
I believe I kind of did it. I mean, obviously, I can kind of switch it around because it also feels they were going to the monastery for the first little while, so not changing anything that I did, I could probably say that month 1 I worked on the lantern stuff. Month 2 I was planning on doing the Volker stuff, and then month 3 towards the end of it all I can set up the beer garden with Kia and Grim for brewing stuffs.
Sure, it's not something that you have to dedicate 1 billion % of it. You can have some. Okay, so this
right,
that they
everything,
right,
everything I could sort of kind of do together, but there was not like a. And again, it sounds like Kia and Grim went off to the monastery for the first bit, anyways. So that works out.
Yeah,
narratively better.
Mm-hmm. I like that better too. So, like after the first week, I think at this point, Nock might have been the first to actually kind of like get your attention and probably be like, hey, you just want to kind of like go out and just do something, anything.
Yeah. Yes.
And so maybe around that point in time, that's kind of when you are kind of like going around and trying to explore, trying to find ways to get in contact and make connections. And I think it may be at this point in time, it kind of clicks for Nock that he's been very passive this entire time, and just something about how he's been interacting with everything completely just changes on its head. And now he doesn't want to just be so passive anymore. He wants to start getting more integrated into anything and everything around to try to... if they are going to strike, I want to know when they are going to strike before they even do anything, kind of deal. And this eventually kind of develops over time into being more of, okay, I don't just want to know what they're doing. I want to start deliberately entangling myself into their ordeals to try to make sure that their plans don't succeed as much as I can. So at some point, Batok, I would assume that you're going to probably try to get Nock, and he's up in Esben's old place. So you eventually try to get up there, but the door is jammed. You can't seem to just open the door naturally. And then I'm going to assume that you probably like knock on the door or something to kind of like get his attention. But eventually you'll kind of hear like the screeching of like a very heavy object move away from the door. And then you'll probably just like open up the door and you'll notice that there's like papers just everywhere in this room. Lines of yarn, string, and wire just all over the place, going from one wall to another, to the ceiling, to the far wall, going all the way around into like even the corner from the other room. Where's the thing? So yeah, there was like a door here, right? That I had made with Esben. Like there's like strings going all over the place, and rooms, ceiling, all around the place, and just like this one, the thickest wire keeps going from like place to place. But even when it connects to something, you see like mazes of other locations and other wires and strings all over the place, just in different colors, and you can kind of see that. During this time frame, Nock has been getting like newspapers and clipping them out and trying to like figure out where anything and everything the Xanathar is like going. Exactly as we put.
The diviner myself, I could have helped you with locate object and sendings and such.
Oh my,
So-
we have the ultimate conspiracy room now.
So, like, keep me up, Birdman!
But here's the thing. All of these things are from the past 2 to 3 years. He's been trying to figure out everything that's been going on from beforehand up to now, trying to figure out where exactly they might go next. Welcome back. So, yeah, you kind of get the idea that Nock is definitely going a little crazy with this.
There's two people. You have a schizoid, and then you have, like, the investigator. And you have a fucking, what's his name? Headlight of intellect, so you have the int to boot.
Yeah.
Did Nock put on the headband of intellect?
So that's something, like,
Nobody else
I would
has
assume
it,
that he would have, right? Except since he doesn't have much of a forehead to put it on, I'd say that he just has, like, wrapped around his neck.
Okay, that's fine. You can
Choker
have
of intellect.
that. Choker of intellect. Choke me harder.
So during that, he'll definitely help you out with what you're looking for, and while he's going around town, he's going to try to look and listen for anything about people talking about the Xanathar's Guild, and basically a lot of his time frame until the Tiger's Eye gets in contact with him, if they ever, is going to be just listening for any activity, going to the locations where there has been activity, and listening to the locals in that area, seeing what they are talking about. And then if I think they're going to go for anything, Nock wants to kind of intervene in some way and make sure that they don't get to do what they want to do. And that's going to be a majority of Nock's time for the 3 months.
I love it. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. Now that I've got the headband of intellect, I'm going to have to increase this. One moment.
The settings is a thing that can give you a plus to a score, so you don't have to modify the actual score itself.
Yeah, give me one moment here. Global, that's a save modifier. That's not going to work here. Is there a way to
Like
just
on the
make it
left-
global?
It's on the left side where it says like strength, dexterity, that you can be like a plus whatever it would be to make it.
I don't see that. Maybe I need to put a thing on.
Oh no. So it's on your core. It goes to core.
Yeah.
And then you could just change your intelligence to whatever headband is.
Yeah, I'll just make a note that int is normally 13.
Oh, my character shit, my roll 20 crash. Let me have a look once it loads.
And the headband of intellect brings it up to what, 18? I think is what it
19.
was.
19.
19? Okay.
So if you click on the cogs on the center of it was not on it. It's like it says strength plus, dexterity plus. That's where you can put the
Oh, yeah, I see.
intelligence plus. For it to be 13 and plus 6, so you just put a 6 there, and it will look blue, light blue, when you look at your stat.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. That's smart.
There we go. That's better.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to use my trait that gives me the advantage on whatever I'm rolling as long as I'm skilled in it. You said investigation, yeah?
Yes.
Poor man enhanced ability.
20. I love it.
That's low
So-
for having a 10.
Yes, it is. But it's still, Olympic level. With a 20, you begin to walk the streets carefully, returning to sites where you know there were places, watching for the obvious signs. The first things that you look for are the chalk eye marks. These ones are alley walls, near sewer entrances, or on cellar doors. You notice one almost within the first hour. It's written in the guild's version of Thieves' Cant. But the way that it's written, the eyeball, depending on where the pupil is located on the rough eyeball, will tell you the information you need, which right now is safe cache, indicating that very near here there's something being kept, intended to be picked up too.
All right.
Give me one more investigation check. Because I assume you look for the safe cache.
Yeah. In the same day, I'm going to use the ability again.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh,
What is my
that's-
rolls?
Oh, that's horrible.
What is happening to you, Birdman? No!
2 3s. Okay. So, unfortunately, you can't find this cache, but you're smart enough. You may not be able to find the cache, but this thing is just a chalk mark.
Yeah.
And so, with a quick brush of your feathered hand, the location of this safe cache is lost to the guild. And so you continue.
We'll keep in mind where this location is, however, and try to look for it later.
And you have the intellect to remember. Absolutely. You continue searching around, and you spend days finding random chalk marks, and depending on what they are, whether it is a safe spot or a dead drop or a or asset compromise, whatever this symbol is intended to communicate, you respond accordingly by brushing it off, or potentially even changing how the symbol is displayed, but starting to mess with the guild's stuff. One more interaction you have, though, is one of the dead drops that you were familiar with, which you've noticed now that most of these locations that you were familiar with are no longer used. It is they know that you're out here, and so they've started to develop different methods.
Go grifted one, many, two times.
Yes. But then you find over near one of the shrine offerings, beside some beggars' cups, coins arranged in a specific way that you used to indicate a dead drop. Which you know that your generation of Xanathar operatives, you were all taught this specific method. And you know that they've stopped using this method. So what does this mean?
Okay.
Mine is being beta.
Probably. But
How do you respond?
can't leave it alone. He's gotta check it out now.
Okay. What do you do to check this out?
Okay. So with the way that it's arranged, does it kind of give me an indication as to where the drop would be located?
Yes. You specifically look at where the head of the coin is on top of the stack is pointed, and it points right towards a dilapidated shop. What looks to be a general wares shop, showing that whatever the drop is going to be inside of that shop.
Okay. I'm going to try to find a way to get into that shop, preferably not from the front door, but probably from... Is there 2 floors to this building?
No, 1 floor.
Damn. Okay. I'll try to go through like some kind of like side window or door at least.
Sure, stealth check.
Is this the same day or a different day?
Different day.
Get him, Birdman.
Get him, Birdman.
I've used your ability.
Oh my god.
What is happening?
I think it's worth reloading your roll 20 because, like, the statistical probability of you rolling back-to-back numbers, back-to-back times, we're talking like go buy a lottery ticket because that shouldn't happen. So I'm kind of willing to bet that, like,
something got worked. Yeah, I just refreshed it.
Wrong, I can feel it.
Just gotta wait for everything to load again.
Okay, that seems more appropriate. Like a shadow, you hop into the shop. And in the back room, in the darkness, you look out. Give me a perception check.
This is not something I'm good at. 14.
I need to roll something that I forgot to roll. Just a moment.
Yeah, honestly.
I know, man. It's DM. Just gotta get better at this. But that's gonna be that. Okay. Let's see how well he hit it. You notice along the pathway of this shop that it looks like it doesn't get a lot of folks visit, the fact that you entered through the back where it's dark and shaded, and the sun is coming through the front entrance, you see the glint of light on a razor wire stretched very low to the ground, right at the entrance of the shop.
I'm sorry, what did I see at the entrance to the shop?
You notice the trap.
Oh.
Razor wire.
I see what's connected.
You lean across the corner. Looks like it's connected to a jar. Some
Oh my
sort
God,
of plug
CJ,
inside
a
a jar.
bomb.
Okay. Can I just cut the jar off of the whatever is going to trigger it? I'm assuming it's just like a wire.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand check.
Vantage again. There we go.
There you go. You, sir, can add a jar of alchemist fire to your inventory.
Oh my God, CJ, a bomb.
Yeah. So you get the impression that you're skirting a fine line right now. But I've got one more thing for you, which is the private eye. Good old Vincent. He invites you over for tea.
Don't trust like that.
I'd probably bring Volker if I'm allowed to bring an extra person, because I don't trust this guy for shit.
What do you mean? Like, you use his voice, and then the guy is like, let me out, let me just see your face. Would Birdman have confined with Volker about the face change thingy?
If you brought his memory back by this point, which I would assume that it would have been the case, then yes, you definitely would have said something.
What? What do you mean it changed his face to yours?
He is not what he appears to be. Either that or he's some kind of a crazy magician. I don't know, man. He just... I try to just use his voice to kind of present myself as being someone who would be, someone he might be interested in using, and, he just did that instead.
I mean, he could have used disguise self, but...
But just his face?
I don't know. I would have to look up on it. I don't think he's as. I would imagine that he has no. If no, it would be like a sanctioned mage. No, what would it be like? I will have to have a look to see if he has been
Registered
as a spellcaster.
I didn't even think about that.
Okay. So you go over to tea with Volker, because yes, you can bring a friend. You both are served a cup of tea. For Volker, some green tea, and for Nock, you some black tea. As Vincent kind of sets some papers to the side and says, I apologize for how long this took, but I have an answer to your question of, are you being followed and by whom? Well, the answer is yes, you are being followed. But you don't have just one shadow. Seems like you have a crowd pretending they're alone. Now, I did a little bit of digging, and, well, there's an obvious tale that you've picked up, which is some Xanathar operatives, not the most skilled, not the most impressive from what I found, but there's a small rotating cell of them. Muscle watchers, not necessarily hunters. Now, they're not trying to catch you necessarily. They're making sure that you don't disappear without explanation, it seems. Now, I would have been content with just that if I hadn't noticed more. There's someone else trying to follow you. This one's a little bit more tricky. I didn't actually catch sight of this specific individual, but I heard enough and noticed enough to know that she's... How do I say this? Sometimes words can get away from me, but she's not necessarily hunting you, hunting prey. The way that I see her interact with your tale, it's almost like she's rehearsing a conversation with a knife. It's interesting, but there's a second one there. Now, I've got a little bit more of a disconcerting one. The third one, by the way, third and last one, don't worry, this is all of it. Someone else is aware of you. Someone is aware of you without needing to actually look for you. And forgive me for doing a little bit of digging into yourself, and you as a lot. But I believe they've noticed you after the stone came into play. So.
After the stone? Okay.
After the stone, yes. Because I would have reached you sooner, but I had to follow in on that. But I've got one concern. I followed one of your watchers into the sewer, and they stopped at a junction and waited. They didn't move, didn't signal, just stood there, almost like they were waiting for permission. It's concerning, of course, but I'm sure it's nothing. Does that answer your question?
I guess. So they just stood there. They didn't do anything. They just waited.
Oh, they were waiting. Yes, weren't talking. Nobody else was there, but it's almost like they were waiting for permission. Yes. I know it's odd, but this place is filled with oddities, and it's my job to learn most, but not answer all of them. If I have any advice, don't try to outrun all of them. You might have to face them head on at some point.
Right. Well, I figured that was going to have to happen at some point. Right. Well, is there anything I can do to potentially keep them off my tail?
Well, you've got... I think that there's three options. Disappear loudly. You could fake death, burn routes, provoke some sort of chaos. Or you could disappear quietly, change all of your habits, and let them think that you're still predictable, but just gone. Or, this one is a bit dangerous, let one of them get close on purpose. And, well, handle them that way, make it seem like you were caught by them. Yes?
Right. Okay. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You, sir, have a wonderful one. Vulka, once again, wonderful to have you over. If you are in need of my services, feel free to inquire.
Pleasure as always. I'll keep that in mind.
Excellent. And you return with that disconcerting knowledge. Now, unfortunately, I have to kind of hurry us along because we're getting very near to ending, and I would love to get
Yeah.
some grim time in. Thank you very much, Nock. Thank you very much. All right, Grim. In the meantime, so good sir, you got trained in your brewing. That's very much of a big one.
Quoting.
I'm just ready to just be like, all right, let's keep that going. So you, sir, are officially trained in brewing, and you have that document that you can go ahead and do things. So, with what you have sent me, you said that you wanted to work with Batok a little bit. What did you do in this period of time?
Well, I spent the first month, I guess, with Kia going to the monastery.
Yes.
And then probably the second month I spent working on my own brewing and kind of getting my operation up and running, getting some recipes made, because the list you sent me has a bunch of, more specialized brews, but I imagine that I can probably brew, a non-magical spiced mead and a non-magical ales and whatnot quite easily, and just serve them kind of more as general fare at Troll Skull. Do I have the ability to do that? Am I licensed to do that? I can't remember. I think I am.
Why would you say that?
No,
Because I'm a freaking paladin.
Well, you'd have to go through the Brewers Guild to officially get a license to brew for your own tavern.
Okay. How do I know what that involves? Like, is there an examination? Is there like a?
You don't know, but you could do it.
Okay. So I'll spend the second month kind of working on my own brewing and not marketing it, but sharing it with the various party members as they dip in and out for their own tasks, and taking their feedback and stuff. And then in the third month, I would like to pass the examination so that I can brew the beer we sell at the Troll Skull Manor in-house. And I would also like to approach Batok and try and he started up his garden and kind of got a selection of like plants going, and I would imagine that he and Grim would have coordinated a little bit, because I imagine that some of the plants are used in both brewing and potion making and would overlap, and we would kind of coordinate our plant growth accordingly. So I would grow things benefiting him, he would grow things benefiting me, and vice versa. It would just kind of be a mutually helpful arrangement to have a small like herb spice garden type thing going. And yeah. I would in the third month I would try and pass that exam, and I would also talk to Batok about the possibility of making, obviously there are magical drafts and potions, and I would talk to Batok and see about being able to make magical beers, but not like incredibly magical. I'm thinking of beers that are kind of more of a consumer item. So, a beer that makes you glow for an hour after drinking it. A beer that makes
Yeah.
sparks shoot out your ears. Possibly a beer that makes you belch loudly for the next like half hour or so. Maybe even a beer that as you drink it, it sobers you up.
Yes.
But just more like beers that are not meant to be magically practical for any purpose, but more like gimmicks that would be enjoyed by the ordinary townsfolk, if that makes sense. Yeah, just like a fun, I guess, selling point to the beer.
Yeah.
We interested in helping that as well.
Yeah, that's going to be fascinating. Like, write down those ideas because we'll work on those. Okay.
Beer. Hold on. Beer that.
I have a
makes
spreadsheet
you-
going already, so
Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, would you do anything else with your time, or is that what you'd spend your time doing?
Let him cook now.
I would say that I would also, with any little bits of extra time, I would maybe periodically check in with the Gauntlet and see if they have any small tasks that need to be completed. And also, wasn't there an ingredient shop near? What's the apothecary near our house again? Near Troll Skull. It's
What the name of the store name? Coralon's Crown.
Corellan's
Yeah.
Crown, that's right.
So I would frequent both Cordelin's Crown as well as the tavern. And I would talk to Fala some about the various plants she grows and try and formulate how those would affect the brews, and then also going to the local tavern to taste their beers and mimic and just to see what's out there and to learn to try and mimic or improve my own brewing skills.
Sure. Okay. Well,
Golden.
I've got two things for you. First is when you went out with Kia. Obviously, you saw what happened there first. You had that interaction using your divine sense, the aberrant mind, all of the above. But when you went off on your own, you found yourself in the kitchens. And so you thought, well, let's see what the monks drank. And walking through the pantry and the wine cellar where you see several different styles of casks and barrels, something you just straight up don't recognize. You're like, what is this elven crap down here? But then you think, well, you know what? They've lived long enough. They probably know what they're doing. And go ahead. I know I'm going to make you roll. Give me an investigation check.
Investigation check. That is not so good.
Yeah,
In hindsight, maybe the address would have been to the 9 intelligence.
Oh, goodness. That's a natural 20 for a total of 19.
Beautiful. Natural 20. Gotta reward the natural 20s.
No, DM. It's a 19. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
This is the dice tell a story.
Stora's gonna wonder why he has the hot chili beer that makes you just have violent diarrhea for 24 hours after.
The brew that makes you shit your pants.
The first one. Okay, you find three things. First, you find notes. You find notes about different brews. You find secrets about different brews that you can just take, that you can access and affect some of the brews that you have. Second, you find in a dark spot in the cellar where like throughout all of this area, there's been that unnatural rot and growth around. But you find in one corner, it's been stopped by a small patch of mushrooms. These are distinct from the rest of the rot. These mushrooms seem to just are completely unaffiliated with this rot. And based on some of the notes that you read, seems like the elves here used the spores from these mushrooms to brew some pretty neat brews.
Out of curiosity, I don't know if any of you know, can you plant mushrooms? Is that like mushrooms
Yes.
aren't really a plant, they're
Yeah.
their own
You
weird.
can,
Okay.
yes.
You can.
You can.
Grimwood harvests some, but not all of the mushrooms. He would leave some there, as he recognizes that is a bane of the corruption, and so he would not take it all and and like completely leave that area devoid of protection, but he would take some of the mushrooms. But I have a nasty feeling what they are.
Okay. And you find a special cask. You don't know why it's special, but it's special. Roll me a D3 real quick.
A D3?
A D3. This you're gonna have to do on Roll20 /R1D3.
I was about to say the frick is a D3.
You can roll a 1d6, and then every 2 is a 1, 2, or 3. So
That's too
1,
advanced.
2 is 1.
And we had to use those crooked ass numbers.
Why won't this roll for me?
/R 1d3.
Oh, /R
1d3, yeah.
1.
Okay.
Not great.
Oh no,
Also roll a
there's
one.
3 options. There are 3
Oh.
options. You find a barrel made of willow wood. And something about this barrel seems magical. It's a small
Add to my
cask.
list. Add to my list for next month to have Volker take a look at this thing.
Okay. Sounds good. So you pick up this cask and you make it out of the cellar alive.
And I'd also ask
lastly,
Batok
yes.
to look at the mushrooms.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Lastly, the gauntlet has not been. It's been busy. I mean, oh, sneeze, just a second.
See?
Okay, I'm back. Excuse me. Woo. Oh man. Gauntlet. You complete some tasks of the gauntlet. Guard duty here, watch there. But then you receive a summons very near present day. It's not a request. This is a summons. And so, you show up. The hall falls silent as armored boots come to rest. A senior commander of the order steps forward, tabard immaculate, gauntlet symbol polished to a dull gleam rather than a shine. Brothers and sisters of the gauntlet, they say, voice carrying without effort. By root of accord between the lords of Waterdeep and allied civic authorities, we have received permission to act where others cannot. A murmur stirs. The commander raises a hand. Under Mountain, they continue, has long been a wound beneath this city, a place where monsters breed, evil gathers strength, and innocence vanish without justice. Until now, our hands were stayed. but that their strength has been lifted. Effective immediately, members of the Order of the Gauntlet are authorized to accept sanctioned requests to descend into Undermountain for the purpose of clearing hostile entities, destroying monstrous nests, and preventing further corruption from reaching the surface. The commander's gaze hardens. This is not conquest. This is duty. Work for glory. There's a beat. A heartbeat. As he says, "You will not claim dominion. You will not hoard artifacts. You will not interfere in matters beyond your mandate. You will stand where others cannot, and you will be remembered for it." Those, and you think that the commander looks briefly at you. Those of proven strength and discipline will be called upon first. We know what it means to carry weight for others. And this command is declared, this information is declared to all of the Gauntlet so that you know what's to happen. But there's no praise, just expectation. And so, we will leave off there as you guys face a brand new day with all of this information. Thank you for playing tonight, and welcome back.
Glory be like, I will use these two dumbasses to push forward the campaign.
That's right.
Hey, I helped